So, just in case anybody's wondering, I got my old computer fixed, so I'm able to do a little bit better as far as videos are concerned. I've also got some setup and everything for my amp, so I'm also able to play the guitar, and you don't have to have it running from the amp to the computer. Now it's running digitally through it, which before I had to turn the amp up so this microphone could catch it, but now I don't have to do that anymore. But for anybody new that views my YouTube channel, or anybody that watches it, that's been watching it or whatnot, any beginner players, any experienced players, pretty much it goes out to all of them. I seen Brook Hoover's last video, um, and I'm kind of curious if what I'm going to end up doing and stuff is describing what he's talking about. So I'm also doing this video for that too. So when I started and stuff, I didn't know any of the notes or anything like that. I didn't know pretty much anything about this, but basically a friend just told me, continue exercising this. Just to get my fingers worked up or whatnot. Get used to putting my fingers on the frets, get the calluses built up on my fingers. Uh, and that was over a year ago. But my exercising on a daily basis pretty much includes this. As you can see, when I get higher up on the neck here and stuff, since my fingers are kind of big and stuff, it's kind of hard for me to squeeze in there. But uh, going from fingers stretched out to fingers cramped in a small area and stuff is kind of the exercise to get used to, and trying to build up the speed with that and stuff. Part of it, eventually getting to. But as you can see and stuff, my accuracy and my speed at that rate and stuff is not greatest. But that's why I keep practicing most of the time on a daily basis. It may not be every day, but and it doesn't always include down here. Just guess down here and stuff, you really don't mess with a whole lot as much as you do this up here. But it's still a good idea to practice down here when you get the ability to. My exercise can also include so any of these exercises I'm currently doing and stuff. The objective of it is to try to keep the timing between notes and stuff the same, even when you go from this to this. So when I get to that point, trying to keep all the notes consistent, no huge gaps or timing in between. In the same way, going the other direction. Now, if you notice and stuff, when I get to these lower strings, I tend to make a little bit more mistakes. And that's mainly because there's not a whole lot of my hand on the guitar. Whereas up here and stuff, I got a little more grip on the thumb back there, more of my fingers are on it, plus the string's bigger. I can do it and stuff, but again, it's always an exercise and stuff. I just daily basis and stuff, go through it for a little bit, maybe spend a half hour on it or whatnot, just working my fingers out like that. On top of those exercises and stuff, since I do know what the notes are on the guitar now, I also practice this. This right here section is actually a little bit difficult, a little more difficult because I'm actually working with 5 frets, so I'm actually stretching my fingers out over 5 frets from there to there, and then using the pinky. Now I could do my middle finger there and then my pinky over here, to where pretty much I'm crossing those 2 fingers right. But when I get down to this point right here and stuff, where you got the B, C, and the E, F, the B, C, and E, F are these two right here on the middle strings. That's why I tend to stop using the first finger. And it's also making me work out the ability to make sure that I've gotten good pressure on that middle pinky, as well as accuracy. I'm sure you can probably hear it a little bit. Most of that was because my ring finger wasn't in the right spot. But besides that and stuff, I mean, that's just the notes and everything. So then you can also go through the scales. No. So I think the scale right here, I think there may be a couple different ones, but the scale that I've learned so far is almost the same as what the notes are, but just a little bit different. yes, I was taught and stuff when you do this scale, even though you start right there, when you come back to this spot, you should uh, go back one step and come back up to it to finish on the proper note, but also to give it a high beat. Giving it a low beat like that and stuff uh, doesn't really give it a good ending, where that does give it a little better ending as far as the scale is concerned. Um, so that was one of the scales and stuff I was taught and stuff. That one I learned off of just guitars through the practical music theory, I think it was, or maybe it was the lessons, I'm not sure. But then there's this one right here, which a lot of people are familiar with. And then I think you can move down here and kind of do the same thing, but I'm not sure. I've never actually tried a scale right here. But then there was another scale and stuff that taught me and stuff, and I'm hoping I got this right, because I don't remember if I I don't have the information anymore and stuff that was given to me what this scale was, but like I said, I don't remember what that scale is or whatnot, but I do remember doing that scale. But then there's also other things and stuff that I consistently practice too. When I kind of am getting irritated or maybe whatnot of trying to play a particular song. So I'll work on a song for about half hour to an hour, maybe longer, maybe shorter and stuff. I don't really keep track of how long I'm working on trying to figure out how to play it. But I'll go to something else and stuff that I have learned. And if Brook ends up seeing this and stuff, he'll decide part I did get from him. So now I believe I showed Brook that one time and stuff, or at least shared something with him on that and stuff. But I play around with that, so I'll even add some things to it, which I'm pretty sure is what Brook suggests doing with that sort of thing. Sort of thing and stuff. I mean, you do it up here too and stuff, but the idea is I'm only just playing around at that point in time. And granted, yes, it's me playing around, but it is also still an exercise. Because I'll use it and stuff and try to find notes to go along with it that sound good. I have a recording device on my computer and stuff besides just this video, what I'm doing right here, to where I can sit there and turn the recorder on. It doesn't hardly take any power whatsoever on the computer just to turn it on with the setup I got right now and stuff, and I can sit here and play things and stuff, and it may sound good to me, it may not and stuff, but once I'm done with it and everything, then I stop the recording, play it back, see what it sounds like, go back through it if I don't like it, and maybe make some adjustments to it later on. But besides that and stuff, I've also worked on, so we got the chords here too, which is something I tend to practice quite often. And when I practice these chords, I'm not no. So when I practice my chords and stuff, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm basically getting my fingers into the spots, strumming once. Make sure it sounds right. That way I know my fingers are going in the right places. I am getting better at playing these bar chords and stuff I used to be really slow at, but at the same time, so when you play these chords, and I'm sure Brook would agree and stuff, or maybe he can show you, um, play these chords and stuff, there are multiple ways of playing these chords. Um, there's no cheating way to it. There's no easy way doing it or not doing it. In fact, if you're struggling with one chord or trying to play a song and stuff, you might find that the whatever you're using. For example, yesterday somebody wanted me to play or learn or whatever a particular song and stuff. So I looked it up on Ultimate Guitar. I seen the tablature for it. I noticed that there was a B in there, a B chord in there. Um, and the only way I know of playing a B chord was like this. And that is one way of playing it. But then after I listened to the song for a while, I was like, man, these chords just don't sound quite right. I figured out that the way I was supposed to be playing it was bar chords sliding. So start with that. Except for I think this right here, A is supposed to be A minor. Sort of thing. And then once, I mean, it did take me probably about 15 minutes to a half hour to figure that out. I haven't played it all the way through yet. But it just tells me that my ears are getting better at hearing the notes in the songs and then uh, running that through my mind and then back into my fingers. So my fingers are like, okay, so this right here, yep, that sounds right. So my ear training is getting better. It's not 100% yet and stuff, but it is getting better. I can always tell when I'm making a mistake when something doesn't sound right. Um, but exercise, one more exercise and stuff that I want to go over, then I'm going to go over something else here. Something I picked off of Marty Music and stuff, which I think is a really good exercise. It has a really nice flow to it. So, at this point in time and stuff, besides just instead of just doing that and stuff, he kind of demonstrated you can kind of mix that up a little bit. Now I have mixed it up a little bit, but I haven't done a whole lot with it. Um, sort of thing. Um, so knowing all this stuff actually helped me to work on freestyle or improvisation. I more like to call it freestyle just because it's a little easier to say, but something like sort of thing. Um, so yeah, I freestyle, play around, find notes and stuff. Sometimes I'll even record what I'm playing and stuff just in case I end up really liking it. I can go back and make edits to it or whatnot, re-record it or whatever. I don't have sophisticated recording programs on my something simple. So if I don't like the way something sounds, then yes, I have to go back through and play it again and kind of change it as I'm playing it. I can't just cut this section out, put it aside, trying to find something to go with it and stuff, and kind of add that to it. I don't have all that yet. I'm not so worried about that right now as much as what I'm worried about. I would like to be able to just simply play it on the guitar and remember it on guitar with my ears or mind or whatever, and make edits to it myself rather than, well, let's see here. We'll put this in there. Okay, record that, put that with this, and then do this, and record that, put that. No, I would rather just do it myself, honestly. The reason I would rather do it myself is because I find that when I'm playing the guitar myself, just like this right here. So, in a way, this is a mistake, but some mistakes can turn out to be a good sounding beat. When my finger is actually on one string below, it should be actually above right here. So but if you make a mistake and stuff, you might find that actually doesn't sound too bad. And then trying to find out what the mistake was and repeat the mistake may be a little bit more difficult. But that's beside the point. So some of the songs and stuff, I also use the songs and stuff as exercises too. Not only do I try to get better at playing them, working with the finger styling or whatnot and stuff, speed. I also will eventually and stuff, and I have worked on a little bit, try to add words to it or lyrics to it and stuff to get to the point where I can play it without thinking about it and sing the song using my mind to remember the lyrics. It's a work. Some people can do it, some people can't. By the way, I have started streaming on Twitch again. So if anybody is interested in following me there and stuff, that's perfectly fine. If you want to stick with it, that's perfectly fine. On Twitch and stuff, though, more my goal is to get a few people together and stuff in one stream. I'm not so much worried about getting additional viewers or getting any subscriptions or anything like that. I right now at this point in time, I can care less about that. My goal is this. I only do the videos, this live streaming, whatnot, to inspire other people or to even inspire myself. If I watch one of these or somebody leaves a comment or a tip or advice or help and stuff, I use it. I try to mimic what other people are doing, try to take the advice for what it's worth. And those people and stuff, they tell me the same thing, which is something I already know, which for any beginners out there and stuff, this is something you really need to realize. Getting better at playing guitar and stuff, or any instrument at all, requires practice. And you're going to hear that over and over again. You want to be able to play this song good, you may end up spending hours, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours playing that song over and over and over and over again just to make it good. But the idea of it is once you've gotten it down and you're good at playing it, when your audience hears it for the first time, even though you've heard it thousands of times, your audience is the one that's feeding you at that point in time, feeding you the congratulations, the inspiration, the motivation to do it again on another song. If you ever get to that point, or if that may be one of your goals. But anyway, so the first song, we'll go through these songs. I'll try to make them quick. Play them all the way through and stuff because I don't want to be getting hit for copyrights on YouTube. But another part of that song is That's supposed to be the solo at the beginning of that song and stuff. Another one. So again, I'm not going to play it all the way through and stuff because I don't want to be getting hit for copyrights and have them edit out parts of these. So another one here. And like I said, I use a lot of songs I've gotten. This right here, I've got another page and stuff where I've started on some songs and stuff to try to work on learning how to play them and stuff. One thing you're going to find for any of those beginner and stuff, when you learn how to play a song and stuff, if you don't come back to it, you will end up forgetting it. Once it ends up becoming muscle memory and stuff, it's a lot easier to play it. But if you don't play it for a while and stuff, that muscle memory starts to fade and you're likely to start forgetting how it goes until your memory of how it sounds starts coming back to you. That's about the best way I can describe that. If anybody else has any kind of thought on that and stuff, feel free to throw it in the comments there. But here's another one. Now, I don't know if that's familiar to anybody or not. I'm not really worried about it if it is or not. It's just part of my exercising and stuff. Yes, I can play more of it and stuff, but there is a bit of a, no, I don't know the solo for that one. For the other one, I know. One other thing I would like to mention, so yes, when I, this was the first guitar I got, as long as line V6 that I got, line 6 Spider V240. Was the first guitar and amp I got. This one right here is really great and stuff. I've actually only had it restrung once and stuff since I've had it. But the amp is what I'm using right now, so my guitar is literally plugged into my amp, which is then running me into my computer, and I've got on my desktop here the remote for it. Just real quick to show you what I'm referring to, because I can actually do this with the studio now. So this is the remote right here that I use. Any adjustments I make to this remote right here actually feed directly into the amp. So if, and that's the only reason why I have this up here. That way I don't have to continue reaching over there and make adjustments on the amp. I can sit there and literally adjust the mid, turn the mid all the way up on this right here. It literally makes that adjustment for this. Take all the bass out of it. You can hear it change right there. This is just a remote. That's all this is. It's not a software amp. It's just a remote that controls the actual amp that I have, and then so I use the remote to control the amp, which then feeds it into the audio. And I can save the changes I make on this and stuff. I don't tend to save the changes, but I can also make my own sounds too. But it has several. I think this is the one I was using. This one maybe. Yeah, I think it was this one right here. No, Silk Deluxe. Maybe. No. Either way. So yes, I can alter it and stuff. Save changes in this right here, and it literally will save changes and add it into a category on the amp if I want to. I've still got a lot of working out to do on this and stuff. There is an option down here to where I can change the amp from a British to a high gain, which I'm pretty sure that was probably a high gain, and I can choose the amp right here, California Diamond Plate, something like this right here, or I can go to this high gain. Now, if I want to go back to the original and stuff, I just click on another one. It asks if I want to save it, or if I'm looking to save it and stuff. I click yes and stuff so it doesn't save it. Ordered backwards. The active preset has unsaved changes. Would you like to discard the changes? And yes, I would like to discard the changes. That way, when I come back to it, it's still the original. If I want to save the changes and stuff, then I would actually save it as another name at the very bottom down here. And this list is quite long. I got 32 different presets. So yes, it can go quite long, and I can save it in the amp. That way, if I end up deciding to go live with the amp and stuff, with whatever the setting was and stuff, then all I gotta do is look for that name or the number 32 or 33 or whatever and stuff, pull it up, and there it is. But besides that, so get back to this right here. And it does have some presets already saved for some of the songs that you might try playing. The only downside is you'll find that if you're using a solid state amp like this one right here, and I don't know if it's just line 6 or not, but you can't get any kind of clean sound out of it at all. 100% clean sound is not possible with this amp right here. I don't know about other amps, but with this amp, no. But that's why I also have a Marshall amp, a Marshall 2 amp. It is strictly clean. The only thing it has is a lead channel and an overdrive channel. I believe that's what it's called. Lead channel, we'll try clean, lead, and crunch. But otherwise and stuff, it's just simply mimicking what I'm doing on the guitar, making it louder. And it can get quite loud if I turned it up. So other songs. So then we got this one I was working on a little bit yesterday. So yeah, I worked on that for a little bit yesterday. That's one of the first songs I actually started learning a couple years back and stuff. I've actually only been hardcore into trying to learn to play guitar for the last year. I have put a week or two in here, a week or two in there over the last 5 years, 10 years, whatnot and stuff, but none of it has really stuck. Then I got sort of thing. Yesterday I was kind of struggling with this. I don't know why. I've played this before multiple times and stuff and done great with it, but yesterday I was struggling with it. Sort of thing. It goes along with that song there. I think the biggest reason I was struggling with it last night, not yesterday, about 3 a.m. this morning, so almost 12 hours ago, was because I was mostly tired. So I was so tired to the point where I couldn't hardly play anything right anymore. And then you got this right here. Sort of thing. And actually, I'm actually getting better at that. I'm surprised I actually remember that much of it. So the progress is real. It all just depends on how much time you put into it yourself. I know there's also another thing that goes along with it. I've tried getting this right and stuff, but because of the fact that who is it that plays that song? Yeah, Chuck Berry. Yes, I got my notes here so I can remember. So when Chuck Berry actually plays that in one of the things I've been listening to and stuff, I don't know how it actually sounds on vinyl. All I got is a YouTube video. You can't hardly hear him playing the guitar. I mean, you can hear him. It may have been because of the headset that I had on. I had a cheaper headset on yesterday, and I think it's to the point where I'm blowing out the speakers in it. It's really got really small speakers. It's not really loud, but it's just the idea. I don't think it's holding up very well. But I was shown playing his rhythm part down here. Now, I listened to watch him and stuff. He's not playing down here. I think he's playing closer to up here. Or up here. Now, if you see that right there, a lot of people can't do that. My fingers are stretched over 5 long distance frets right there. This right here, eventually you can get to the point where you can do that. I see people that have skinny fingers. If you have shorter fingers, yeah, you can still do it. It's just a matter of getting your fingers to stretch out. 'Cause I couldn't do it when I first started. honestly, I think I'm actually learning quite fast. I think I'm at a pretty good speed, but I'm also putting a lot of hours into it. I told somebody and stuff, if I really had to calculate the amount of hours that I'm putting into guitar on a weekly basis, I would say it's somewhere between 30 and 50 hours a week, roughly. Some weeks it may be a little bit less, just depending on how tired I am, what all I have to do that day, work schedule sort of stuff. But that's why I say 30 to 50 hours. Like yesterday was a good solid 4 to 6 hours. Today will probably be another solid 6 hours. That's 12 hours right there by itself. Tomorrow I'm off again and stuff, so that may be another 4 to 8 hours, whatnot. Before I go to work sometimes and stuff, if I don't have to work until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll sit there and practice for 2 or 3 hours right there. So yes, I put a lot of work into it, and then in my opinion, that's what I would consider dedication. You're dedicated to really learn. So instead of me sitting here watching TV or watching YouTube videos or whatnot, I start that off as the beginning of my day. Wake up at 8, 9 o'clock, whatever time in the morning. I'll get up, get me something to drink, normal routine. While I'm working on trying to wake up, which takes me about a half hour to an hour, I watch YouTube videos. Either people live streaming guitar playing, or videos of people progressing, or live it, whatever I can find and stuff that'll continue to inspire me and motivate me to continue picking up my guitar on a daily basis. I do find it kind of difficult to find people playing the style of music that I like. My style of music is more of rock from the 70s, 80s, 90s era. That's just because I was younger and stuff, and first got my car and was driving and stuff. That's what I was listening to, and that's about the time frame it was. I think about the 90s and 2000s, I much got to where I was about 20, uh, 20 plus years old. So driving around and stuff, we had CDs and stuff, but those things were quite expensive. If I'm not mistaken and stuff, back in that time, a new CD, if you wanted a Pink Floyd CD, it was a dual disc, so it had two openings on it, two CDs in it, two covers, a crap load of songs. I believe that thing cost about $30. Um, Now, as the music got older and stuff, the higher in the charts it went and stuff, as far as music charts, the more expensive the CD or the music became. The lower in the charts it was and stuff, the cheaper it was, and it's just obvious and stuff. When something's popular, everybody wants it. When it's not popular, nobody wants it, sort of thing. It still exists today, but now you get other options and stuff as far as where to get music from, so CDs don't really exist so much anymore. But that, I mean, I can also tell you this much too. So if you download songs off the internet to listen to in your car or whatnot, I can tell you the sound that you're getting is not going to be the same as maybe the sound from a studio, because a studio is more than likely using either a CD or a vinyl recording of it. So over the time and stuff, where we started with vinyl records, that was actually still the best way to listen to music. It even is today. And I noticed that they are bringing back vinyls and stuff because it's been proven. Vinyls has the best sound to it. It records every little detail. Cassette players did not. 9 tracks did not. Or 8 tracks or whatever they're called. CDs did not. And digital downloads, I can promise you, they don't either. Um, the best way to get the true sound of what somebody has recorded is vinyl record. And you'd have to get into understanding how vinyl records are made to understand why that is. I know how they're made, but I'm not getting into that anyways. So another song, Dream On. And yes, these are kind of stretchy too. So this is another thing and stuff where I'm literally stretching my pinky out as far as I possibly can to get over to this note. As well as when I'm playing this up here, I gotta, let's see. getting this right here and stuff. It's kind of a stretch right there on that one right there. So as you notice, I can't get all the way down to the end of the fret right there. So yes, when I play that, I have to press on a little bit harder. The downside is I got two strings here. I need them to ring out. So getting that note right there in there while getting the other ones in there and getting the right amount of pressure on it so it actually hits the fret like it's supposed to, is a little difficult. But I've gotten used to it. I don't hit it right off the bat every time, but I've gotten used to it. And that pretty much that song kind of played out the same way throughout the entire thing. Another one I've got here. Sort of thing. So there's a pretty good list of songs here I got. Another one here. Now this one right here and stuff, I will play around with it. So I'll play it that way a few times and change it up to a power chord. Oops. And then I'll even add another note to it. Sort of thing. And it's all just a matter of exercising. So when I'm doing this and stuff, yes, you see my fingers are sitting here flying through the frets and everything to try to get those notes with the right timing in there. That is no different than trying to get those notes proper. All this is and stuff is just getting your mind, getting your hand used to where it needs to go to and stop. There's a particular song like this one right here. At the end of the solo, it goes. Let's see here. From there all the way down to the 13, and keep the note ringing out. And then once you get down there, it's supposed to have a little bit of vibrato to it. And it's taken me a while to get used to that. Just like when I was playing this right here, it took me a while to get used to keeping these notes ringing out. So, but when you hit it the fourth time, when you come down though, you got to keep those notes ringing because you're not. It doesn't really strum right there. Just. And I still miss it sometimes, so it does happen. But I'm a lot better at what I was at it. Another song here. Again, there's a classic rock song right there. If you know what that song is and stuff. I don't know a whole lot of the song. Yesterday I started working on the solo part of it and stuff. A lot of these songs and stuff, I actually started additional parts of these songs because I've gotten to where I'm not great at it, but I can play the most part of the song. Another one here. Sort of thing. This one right here I worked on a little bit yesterday. So we'll just get to this point. I've worked on quite a few songs here. I've gotten literally several pages. Now, it's not so much a matter of memorizing songs and stuff, but yes, it's possible to memorize all this stuff. It's going to take time. I figure a year from now and stuff, I should be able to play a lot of these songs a lot better instead of having just 2 songs that I know all the way through, probably having 24 songs that I know all the way through and can play them. But the idea of it is I am doing all kinds of different exercises with my fingers, with my frets, learning new things and stuff when I come to play these things. I'm also training my ear because I'll have the YouTube video up for it itself, along with the Ultimate Guitar. Ultimate Guitar is not 100% accurate on everything, but it is a good starting point for a lot of songs. So I'll bring that up. I will first start by listening to the song on YouTube itself. Um, and then I'll go to the Ultimate Guitar and try to use the tablature to figure out what I'm playing. And I'll go back to the sound, the YouTube itself and stuff. And as long as they sound close to the same, I'll use it. But if it doesn't, then I know that I got to make a lot of adjustments to what I'm playing, what I learned off the tablature to get it. But inevitably, the final goal is to be able to play along with the YouTube video or whatever I'm trying to listen to and play. If it's American Woman and stuff, then play along with the music video for American Woman instead of just trying to read the notes, and eventually maybe get to the point to where I can cut out the YouTube video altogether, play it myself, and sing it at the same time. So that's kind of the thought of it and stuff. But yes, I sit there, I practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and I do that quite often and stuff. I'll accidentally hit this right here when I'm coming back up. I hit my volume knob. But yes, I have this guitar out right now and stuff. I do like this guitar better than my other guitar, but I have this guitar out right now because my other guitar needs work done to it. A couple of things beginners should pay attention to when they are playing their instruments or their guitar or whatnot, especially the guitar. I know more about that than I do about other instruments. So when you're sitting here playing this guitar and stuff, not only do you have to make sure that the strings are staying tuned in proper tuning, but since the seasons are changing and the weather is also changing, your guitar is going to change with that. Anything that is heated will expand, anything that's cooled will contract. Every material does it. It doesn't matter what the material is. This guitar doesn't tend to move too much, which I am very impressed with. But my other guitar, my Jackson that I have that has a Floyd Rose setup on it, it has changed. So, and what I mean by has changed, first off, you look down the neck of a guitar right there and stuff because you're paying attention to how straight this neck is right here. You can see it bend. If it bends, it's not a big deal. There's a rod that runs through here that can be turned. I wouldn't suggest doing it yourself if you're not experienced with it, but there's a rod inside this neck right here that can be turned and will straighten this out right here. There are also measurements to make sure that your neck is straight. On my Jackson right now, the neck is actually up a little bit right now. So the cold temperature and stuff, the neck of my Jackson and stuff to flex up. There's a rod in there. I'll take it to somebody. I'll have them straighten it up. What happens is the strings right here end up coming up too high off the frets, which then my fingers end up tripping on the strings trying to jump from one string to another. This can affect your playing. This can affect your learning ability. This is why I have two guitars, because right now that one right there, I'm pretty much decommissioning and stuff until I get it fixed. It's not a hard fix, but they will have to straighten out the neck, retune it, and with the Floyd Rose setup on it, it'll probably take more than, because you've also got springs in the back right here that pull this right here down if it's not solid, which that's this one and that one is not a solid stop right there. This one right here is meant for a wall bar, and so is that one there and stuff. So those springs right there, the tension can be changed on the springs to keep this flat right here, because there's a measurement for where up here to down here on all the frets, as well as a measurement for your pickups, both pickups, and this right here should be pretty much flat or level with the guitar. It may not be sitting flat, which this one does not. It just sits off of it just a hair. That way it has movement to room to move with the wah-wah bar. Same way with that one. But I'm not familiar enough with guitars and stuff to be able to straighten out the neck and keep it all in tune. I'm not familiar enough with it, so I'll take it to somebody that has more experience and stuff to have them get it straightened up. This one right here had a ringing noise in it for a while. Still got a little bit of it, but it's pretty much gone now. But it was the G string right there. Had a little bit of a ringing noise in that G string. Um, I do remember and stuff though, you couldn't so much hear it through the amp. It would not get picked up. You had to actually listen to the guitar itself, no amp, to be able to hear the. So that was kind of a plus. But other than that, I think I'm going to end this video with that right there. I do hope that anybody that is learning how to play guitar right now and stuff, they keep working on it. I hope this inspires them to keep picking up their guitar on a daily basis, practice the exercises, find songs to learn. Like I said, even though my style of music and stuff that I like to listen to, it may not be everybody else's style. Um, I think a lot of people would agree and stuff that music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, even up to the 80s and some of the 90s, can be learned, I believe, a little bit easier than the newer style music. The newer style music has so much effects in it, so much sound distortion in it, and all that sort of stuff. It can be hard to pick out the notes. Most of these people have played anywhere between the 50s and the 80s and stuff. All they had was a tube amp. So most of the time and stuff, they were just playing um, straight, clean sound. So it's easy to pick up the notes. Also, their speed and stuff when they played wasn't the fastest at that time. And whether it was chords or notes and stuff, it wasn't really crazy fast. What I mean by crazy fast would be playing something at 120 beats per minute, every single note in the entire measure being a 30-second note. That's 32 notes in 120, uh, within 120 beats. I would have to end up doing the math beats that is in a measure and stuff, but you get the idea. It's just really fast. Most of these guys and stuff have played about 50 to maybe 100 at the top and stuff, but most of their notes and stuff were half notes, whole notes, quarter notes, and maybe a couple eighth notes. But it wasn't nearly as fast. It was a lot easier to play. That's why I always start with easier songs to learn how to play. Wild Thing is more of an easier song to play by the Trogs here. I think I played it on one of my videos before. I don't actually remember exactly how to play because it's been a couple of days, which is again why I say it's important to remember to play songs that you're trying to learn on a daily basis because you can easily forget them. I have to pull up the YouTube video right now, listen to the song in order to remember how to play it. I do know that it is an A, a D, an E, and then eventually it goes from E, A, D, E to a G, I believe. Yeah. So it goes from an E to a G, and then bounces back and forth between G and A. And this is a prime example of that. So going from some people, so when I play an A, I normally play it like this. When I play it like this, I'm not cheating. It's not a cheat, it's not a shortcut. It makes it to where this song right here can be played the way it's supposed to sound. So those are eighth notes. I chorded eighth note. Eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, eighth note. All within a quarter measure. And then the eighth right there gets rung out for the rest of the measure. So that's not a cheat. Because I cannot go from this to this fast enough at all. So I simply play it like that. There's a lot of other songs that are done the same way. If you go across and instead of sort of thing, instead of going and yes, you can roll your finger across that and stuff to get the notes to mute out. Sort of thing. It's not a cheat. It's just a simpler way of doing something that may be kind of difficult at first and stuff, and you just find an easier way of doing it. Plus, you can add in things on that. So what doing this right here across here and playing this? Nothing. fact, that is another exercise right there you can work on, because when you're doing bar chords, if you need to change your chord during a bar chord, going from say a G, which is kind of difficult, a G shape. G shape. This is actually would be considered a C chord, C bar chord, but it's got the G shape in it because you use that same shape right here to play that. So yeah, going sort of thing can just be another exercise. Getting your fingers to move individually on their own, one at a time, keeping one still while the rest of them move and stuff. It's a challenge for a beginner. I know it is. I used to struggle with it myself. So there's different things and stuff you can practice, which is also another reason why I watch other people's YouTube videos. Either from beginners to experience. I see a beginner doing something, I see a mistake that they're doing, and tells me that it doesn't tell me that the mistake they're doing is bad. It tells me that the mistake I'm seeing, I'm catching. So if I catch myself doing it, then I know that I need to make a correction myself. Then I might leave a comment saying, hey, you might want to check into this or that or that or this and stuff, but I don't tend to leave a lot of comments for other people. I know that they will figure it out. I know that they have their own style. Doesn't mean that what they're doing is wrong or what they're doing is right, or is even a mistake and stuff. In fact, I've seen some new players and stuff do some things I can't do. I cannot finger pick yet. I cannot simply do. I'm getting the fingernails for it, but so no, it's not something I can do yet. But yeah. Watching experienced players and stuff do things. What about the concept of playing something like this and then taking the head of your guitar and flexing it a little bit and stuff to give it kind of that wah-wah sound? It's not a huge sound or this way or whatnot. I'm sure people have done both ways before and whatnot. Now, I'm not going to do it and stuff just because, for one, I'm not to that point, and I'm not sitting right to be able to make it sound proper. So instead of getting unique style and doing that right there, whatnot and stuff, I'm just gonna go. I'm not fast enough yet. You see, there's too much of a delay between that and this. But it's like I said, I can tell you right now, I'm progressing quite quickly, in my opinion, honestly. But anyways, so that'll be the end of this video. That ended up lasting about an hour and stuff, and I'm getting off track anyway. So if you liked the video, click the like button. If you want to leave a comment, ask a question, whatnot, do that. Subscribe if you want to follow my channel. You don't have to. If you're interested in following my live feeds and stuff that I do on Twitch, I go by the name eGuitarL6. So if you type that in the search and stuff, you can find me there. I am looking for other people and stuff that maybe want to stream together. I know there's software out there and stuff where two people could stream at the same time, with or without video, but definitely with audio. Now, there was somebody that has done it. It's normally set up on Saturdays and stuff, but I think this would be a great way and stuff if somebody really wants to work on learning how to play. How you doing this? How you doing that? How you doing this and stuff? And typing it in is not fast enough, in my opinion. I could say it, see it, show it 10 times. I could type it. 5th fret, 7th string, or 6th string, or whatever and stuff. This fret, 6th string. Put your finger here. I can't get that out fast. I can't even hardly say it fast enough. I can simply do this right here and stuff. I've got my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, other finger, 3rd fret of the E string, the rest of them are open. That's a G sort of thing. Anyways, until my next video, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.